Hello, everybody. This is Tina from Via Feng Shui, and I am so happy to be sitting here today with Autumn Jensen, also known as Debbie Jensen, but we're going to call her Autumn because she's this magical, wonderful graduate of the Via Feng Shui training program. And hello, Debbie. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Tina. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad that we get a chance to do this, to kind of sit down and share what feng shui is and how we use it as practitioners, because I think a lot of people are confused by it. So let's start off with you describing to us what feng shui, because it might be something different to me than it is to you. So tell me, what is feng shui to you?
I've studied feng shui for a really long time before I met you. And I always thought it was about how you put your furniture, and you're supposed to buy some plants and maybe paint your front door red, right? And it wasn't until I actually dove into feng shui that I came up with my own understanding and meaning of it. And what it is for me is connecting my inner world to my outer world and bringing that into balance. I kind of look at feng shui like you would a puzzle. When you buy a puzzle, it's usually a square or a rectangle, and homes are usually the same shape. And so when you put these pieces of the puzzle together, at the end you have a whole puzzle, right? So feng shui to me is kind of like that. When you walk into a home, you have all these different pieces of the home. You have colors and textures and smells and arrangements. And then you bring in the characteristics of all the people who live there or work there if it's a business. And as a feng shui consultant, you have to get all of those pieces and fit them all together so that everything is arranged properly and brought into balance as a finished whole piece.
Wow, I love that metaphor. I love the visual of it. It makes so much sense. I've never heard that. I love that. I've got goosebumps. So how I know you don't do just feng shui,
No.
and you have other modalities and experiences and years of just building your own intuitive practice and how you connect with people. How do you use feng shui? And I know you offer it as a service. What does that look like? How do you incorporate feng shui in your offerings to people, whether it's their home or their business?
I also do permanent makeup, and I've done that for a really long time. So when I tried to incorporate feng shui into what I was already doing, I found that there was this underlying energy that goes with feng shui that actually allows me to understand my client better. And, when I, excuse me, when I learned feng shui originally 15 years ago, I only learned Western, and I didn't know that there was anything else until I met you. And then I learned this compass feng shui or classic feng shui from you. And you also taught me the Eastern astrology that goes along with that. And I didn't know those things before. And so when I incorporated those into what I was already doing, I found that I understood my own clientele better. And taking that into, I started by taking that into my own salon and working in hair salons. I have done that a lot, and also worked for plastic surgeons quite a bit. And you hear all the time about salons having a lot of drama. So here's just an example of how this feng shui connecting my salon world together, how this kind of started to make sense for me. When I took the feng shui into a salon and I looked around, and you see sinks and water and drains, and we know that that element of water represents money, right? But we also know that the drains represent, draining away your resources. And so I started looking around, and I started to wonder, we have all this water element, but do we also have an owner of the salon, perhaps, whose Eastern astrology chart is really heavy in the water element, and we add that to the equation. And then do we have a lot of stylists who also have a lot of water element in their astrology chart? So then we have this mixture, this pot boiling with all of this water, and we're going to have so much emotion going on. And that's going to result in all this drama, which happens in salons a lot and plastic surgeons' offices. And so it just left me wondering, like, hmm, hmm, you know? So it just helps you make sense of the world when you can use these other tools.
Yeah, it so does. I love that you were able to see it like that. And I know now, being a full professional practitioner, you see it wherever you go. When you're sitting at a restaurant or waiting for your coffee order, just driving through town, you're looking at landform feng shui. There, you just see it, and you can't unsee it. Sorry about that.
You
um,
can't.
so, do you work with both private and business owners? Like, I mean, like homeowners, and work with them on a personal level with their families as well as business owners?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay. Could you share, like, I know you've had incredible experiences with your clients. We've talked about them. You've shared about stuff. So, is something stand out to you that you heard back from a client with a success story or an aha moment that really shifted things for them, that kind of keeps you on this path to keep you excited about what you're doing, and keeps you motivated?
Oh gosh, it's hard to pick one. The one that comes to mind right off the bat is she and her husband were and are business owners, both of them individually. And she wanted me to come out to her home because they both had a lot of dreams and goals to transition out of what they were doing and start some different businesses. And they just couldn't seem to get that final motivation to step out. So she invited me to come to her home and do a consultation. And when I walked in, there were so many photos on the walls that you could hardly even see the wall. They were literally in the hallways. Every room was just covered with family photos from down to your knee level, clear up above your view. And I said, tell me about these photos. And she said, well, we like to remember all these experiences that our family has had. We love travel. And, we just have all these experiences that we like to remember. And I said, but how can you even have time to remember all these experiences? You'd be standing in your hallway for days, you know? And she said, well, we do like to go through and look at all these photos, but I said, there's too many to actually enjoy them. And it felt as if they were being suffocated from the inside out. There was just so much. And it's not, we hear about clutter in feng shui. And yes, it is clutter, but it was so much more than that. It felt like they were being kept in the past rather than being able to move forward. So her first assignment was choose, maybe one or two large photos that you can use that are updated photos, keep you in the present, and put all the other photos on one of those moving screens so that when you walk into the room, it's a surprise of which one is on that screen. And you can actually live in that moment, and then you can let it go and move on to your next activity or whatever you've got planned for the day. So that was her first assignment. And she took this very seriously. Her and her husband both, they went through their entire house and they took it seriously. And they took the photos down, they cleared the space, they decluttered, and then she started working on her office. And I worked with her step by step as we went from room to room. She chose to work on her office and their kitchen. Their kitchen was where they liked to spend time together cooking. And she had dreams of starting this new business. So her office was important to her. So we worked on those three things. And it was amazing what transitioned for them. She has since started her own new business. And this was just last fall. And she was just in a couple weeks ago, actually. And she had all these pictures on her phone to show me, now we did this and now we did that. And I started my new business, this thing I was dreaming about, and it's doing really well. And my husband is now, ready to start his new ideas. And so it just transitioned her forward. It just motivated her to move forward and do the things that she has been dreaming of doing for a very, very long time. So yeah, success story there.
Gosh, Debbie, I mean, you just opened up her world, and I love this example. And I think the reason I love it so much is how you started, because I think people feel like, well, I don't really need to call a feng shui practitioner. I like the way my house looks, or I like the color of the front door. It's not just when you're wanting to redecorate your house that you call a feng shui practitioner, right? It's when your dreams aren't coming to fruition. It's when communication breaks down within the family, or when somebody's really struggling in an area. There's so many reasons to call somebody in to lend a hand for you. That's a beautiful example. And I'm sure you're going to continue to hear amazing things from them
Oh,
as,
yeah.
as they tackle the rest of their house.
I hope so.
Yeah, and even your mindful approach of not overwhelming your client, but just give them what they can focus on and manage at the time with where they're at.
Right, right.
That's really cool. Before we wrap up, because we want to keep this short, so it's just bite-sized nuggets here.
Yeah.
Do you have people reach out to you? It's like, what can I do for this? Or like a tip that you go to that is going to create a shift for somebody in their life? Just something simple that like anybody after they listen to this is like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go give this a try.
I have two things that I start people with for feng shui. The first thing, and these are things that I think are really easy to do, and you will notice a shift in the energy in your home. The first thing is just go sit in the center. Figure out where the center of your home is, and just go sit there and be quiet for a little bit. Put your feet on the ground. Let yourself feel the energy of the space that you live in. I don't think most people do this. And just ask your home, what do you need? What do you have to offer me? And listen, just allow yourself to just listen. It's amazing the messages that will come through. And the second thing is to do a space clearing. Now, most people know how to smudge their house. They know about sage and that kind of thing. Well, that doesn't work so well for me because, for one, I have a lot of people through my home because I work from my home and it smells like pot, which doesn't go over too well for some people, especially if they have allergies or asthma. And I also have a pet bird, and their little respiratory systems are really, really sensitive. So I can't do smoke and a lot of incense in my home because of her. So the feng shui way of clearing the space with the oils and the sprays, and it's a whole process, and it's quite different than saging. That clears your space. I found much better on a much deeper level than just smudging. So you can have, one of us feng shui practitioners come out and do that clearing for you, or we can teach you how to do it. It's not difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Those two things.
Yeah, you're right. That's just such a great place to start. And it's not asking you to go spend any money. You don't have to go, put your work clothes on, or whatever. You could just do that and just be so mindful and in the moment. That's so beautiful. And you're reminding me I need to reconnect with my center. It's been a while. I need to go stand in that space and ask, we're in this together. How can we support one another? Ask my home, what do you need from me? That's beautiful. Is there any, first of all, tell us how we can work with you. Do you have a website? Are you on social media? Do you prefer just somebody to text you? What's the best way to reach out to you?
Um, I would say my Facebook page is probably where I'm the most active, and that is Autumn Moon Feng Shui, and House Magic is the name of my page. I call Feng Shui house magic because I think people understand that a little bit better than the word feng shui. And my website is autumnmoonfengshui.com. You can connect with me either place, send me a text, or just message me through Facebook, and I'll get your message.
Hmm. Okay, we'll put that in the description too, for sure. Is there anything that you want to add that we didn't get a chance to talk about before we
Oh my
say
gosh.
goodbye?
I think that you hit on the biggest thing is people think feng shui is going to be hard and it's going to be this long list of things to do. They're going to have to repaint the walls and get new furniture and buy new plants and stock up on little Chinese statues and things like that, And it's not. It's so easy. Just like, the example of just taking down too many photos. It's a chance to start somewhere with something small and connect with your home on a gradual basis so that you can actually feel the shifts occurring, and your intuition will guide you, as to what you need to do next.
Hmm. I'm just going to take a deep breath on that one. That was beautiful. You know how much I adore you, Debbie. I'm just
Oh,
so grateful that our paths have crossed, and to have you go through the training, however long ago that was, and to see you shine and be out there touching people's lives and teaching. Do you do workshops and stuff too?
I do.
Like if somebody wanted to have you come in and do a workshop in their business or for their family,
hmm
friends, and kind of stuff. So
I
that,
do. Of course, right now, we're all kind of, right now we're working remotely, mostly because of this coronavirus. And I do the full thing remotely
mhm.
too.
Oh,
So,
good. So that's even an option now, just to get people out of their norm and kind of tapped into some new information.
hmm
So, yeah, if you're listening and this is something that intrigues you, or you just want to have a conversation with Debbie, jump on a Zoom call with her. I mean, you can feel her energy. You can sense her sensitivity and her sincerity in what she brings. And I just absolutely adore you. And I can't wait to see you in person again so we can give each other a big hug.
right.
Because
And
it's,
I would say the feeling is mutual. I told you that I did take certification in Western 15, I think it's been 15 years ago, but your training and the way that you brought this other modality into my life, and the way that you showed, you helped me make sense of this. Before it was just like a book to follow,
mm,
but the way your training is, you helped me really make sense of it. And I have to say too that the way you taught me how to do the Eastern astrology has like made feng shui so much more fun. And and you have those 12 animals that play into the
mm,
whole picture, and then you start saying, oh, they lived a certain way in their life, but they must be a rooster. you know it, it's great. What you've done for my business is just
oh,
amazing, and you're just so tender hearted and kind, and you're a great teacher.
oh,
You've
thank you
changed my
very
life.
much. Thank you. Yeah, those astrology charts are the most amazing tool. Just what an incredible gift, as are you. So get in touch with Debbie for feng shui consultations or teachings, or even just an astrology reading, right?
hmm
And then if you're interested in doing the training, reach out to fengshuivia.me, and see when the next trainings are coming up, or just reach out to me directly. And take care, my friend. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.